1,000 acres of Moi University, one of us includes the speaker.
I am not doing any such thing. Yes. I'm doing no such thing.
So you must be responsible for what you are saying. If you have no facts, that statement will be struck off from the Hansard.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
I promise to come with evidence, then I will name the person.
When will you bring the evidence?
2 weeks.
On the first day of document. On the first day of resumption after the short recess,
Mr. Speaker,
you must bring evidence to the House.
Yes, I will.
Go on.
I undertake. The third point, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of students' capacity of Moi University. It has something to do with how well the university is run. There is nothing KUSP can do. If the students know Moi University is poorly run, they will not apply to go to that university. They cannot be forced to go to a university which is poorly run. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm calling upon the Minister of Education, and especially the Council of University Education, to do its role of quality assurance, to do its role of ensuring that they supervise the university, so that that university goes back to where it was. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Kainan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as alumni of Moi University, and as the first alumni ever to be elected to a public office, Mr. Speaker, I'm actually shocked, dismayed, and flabbergasted to see that giant institution today struggling. Mr. Speaker, we must call a spade a spade. Mr. Speaker, during our time, Moi University was everything in terms of infrastructure, in terms of academic excellence, in terms of everything. Mr. Speaker, will I be right without appearing not to be preemptive, taking into account the circumstances that we have an ad hoc committee, not the education committee alone, an ad hoc committee that will bring together the best minds from this House, Mr. Speaker, to investigate the circumstances that has grounded Moi University to where it is, and Mr. Speaker, and suggest remedial measures, Mr. Speaker, as it is. As somebody has rightly alluded, Mr. Speaker, the problem is not even funding alone. The problem is chronism. The problem is abuse, Mr. Speaker, and we are all aware of the history of this university. Mr. Speaker, once and for all, we must side with Moi University so that Moi University does not join the league of institutions that have been run down, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg your indulgence to allow us to bring a committee, an ad hoc committee, so that this issue can be dealt with once and for all and comprehensively. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mandazi.
Thank you so much. Speaker, as one of the graduates of Moi University, I'm really disappointed with the way the university is being managed as at now. Mr. Speaker, I got the name Mandazi from Moi University when it was a university then. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, what Moi University is suffering is issue of governance. Number two, Mr. Speaker, management in the university has to be sorted out. After sorting out the issue of management, Mr. Speaker, the government has to deliberately put money in the institution because Moi University helped develop other universities. And in so doing, it has gone down.
It is time that the Ministry of Education see to it that Moi University comes back to life as the way it was when we schooled there, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I want to support that Moi University is taken back to where it was when we schooled there, and that is where I got the name Mandazi, because I was selling Mandazi to other university students, including Majority Leader from the Senate, including the Honorable Cecilia Ngitit. That is where I got Mandazi, and then it was a school, it was a university, and students who graduated from Moi University, including myself, were respected then. Today, it is not a university like it was before. It is time that this House considers putting money into the same university so it can develop and be a university that was before. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable members, Chairman Meli, what you have attempted to say on Moi University is not only inadequate but unacceptable to the House. As you can see, what your colleagues are saying. This House will be sitting up to the afternoon. At 2:30, you must bring information from the ministry when this university is opening. At 2:30. Adequate or inadequate, you must tell the House when this university is opening. Parents go through serious soul searching to help their children maintained and sustained in institutions. And we cannot, as a responsible House, procrastinate on this matter anymore. Yes, Melly?
Mr. Speaker, I do agree with you wholeheartedly and even the issues raised by members. But when a ministry official or a PS gives a 2-paragraph statement on such a serious matter, it is actually belittling the House. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, I gave out the statement raised by the honorable member, and just to be given a 2-paragraph statement, which is very wrong. Issues facing Moi University on financials, governance, and even issues of poor governance is very big. And I did not expect that, Mr. Speaker, that I bring such a very poor thing.
As chairman of the committee, you know what to do.
I shall take action as you have said, and I'll bring a statement this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Russell.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the statement that was raised yesterday by Honorable Chonga from the floor of the House, there is enough evidence that what the Honorable member raised, the county commissioner, the DCCs, all of them are aware. And indeed, that family, because they don't have enough, the man who had the resources had to throw them out of that land. So it has been confirmed to that extent.
Is Chonga in the House? Is Ken Chonga in the House? That was his statement, right?
Yes. So for that reason, Honorable Speaker, the task that you gave me is that the county commissioner and the DCC are going to sit this morning, and they are going to deliberate on this matter as far as removal of that family from their land is concerned. But what they have also confirmed, the matter is in court. What everybody was wondering is how the family was thrown out of their homestead. So for that reason, the ministry and the county commissioner is seized of that matter, and in the next 1-2 days, they are going to give us feedback that the family is restored back to their homestead. That is what we have gathered so far, Honorable Speaker, but we'll also not leave it to that, we'll follow it up. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ken Chonga is not in the House, so we'll leave it there. Yes, Chairman.
I know my very able chair had actually made the preliminary report on the same, but I've just got the information or the report from the ministry that the report can be even ready as this afternoon. Yes.
You'll deliver a statement in the afternoon?
Yes.
Excellent. Member for Moyale, Jaldesa Guyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Internal Security and National Administration regarding the reopening of Illo Gold Mine in the Bale Moyale constituency. Honorable Speaker, in 2023, the residents of Moyale discovered traces of gold in the Illo area of Dabel, Marsabit County, following a prolonged drought from 2021 to 2023, during which pastoralists lost more than 80% of their livestock. The discovery of the Ilo gold mine offered a new lifeline and an alternative means of livelihood for the community. However, in March 2024, a disagreement between two artisanal miners resulted in the tragic loss of lives. Consequently, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration ordered a 30-day closure of the gold mine, citing insecurity and the absence of proper administrative and structures to manage the site for the welfare of the community and other stakeholders. Honorable Speaker, since the closure, several positive developments have taken place. Community organizations have transformed into cooperatives to oversee the administration and management of their natural resource. Unfortunately, it's alleged that some members of the security agencies have begun engaging in illegal mining activities in the area, providing misleading response to justify the continued closure, thereby excluding the residents and benefiting from the situation. In September 2024, Marsabit County leaders met with the Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Interior and National Administration to discuss the reopening of the Ilo gold mine and other security concerns. Although there was an unanimous agreement to reopen the mine, just 2 weeks later, the Cabinet Secretary extended the closure by another 30 days, further disadvantaging the local community. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Internal Security and National Administration on the following. 1, a report on the status on progress toward the reopening of the Ilo gold mine. Number 2, actions being taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to facilitate the reopening of the Ilo gold mine, along with the implementation of necessary administrative and security structures to safeguard lives, property, and the welfare of the local community. And finally, efforts to ensure that the cooperative established by the residents are recognized by as the legitimate artisanal miners. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Clerk will go back to order number 3. Order, members, take your seats.
Order number 3, messages.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Order, honorable members, take your seats. Honorable members, I have a message from the President on the nomination of Professor Kithure Kindiki, EGH, to fill the vacancy in the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Order. Order, members. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42.1, I wish to report to the House that today morning I have received a message from His Excellency the President regarding the nomination of Professor Kithure Kindiki, EGH, to fill the vacancy which has occurred in the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya following the impeachment of the previous office holder. Honorable members, as you are aware, Article 149(1) of the Constitution provides as follows, and I quote, "Within 14 days after vacancy in the office of the Deputy President arises, the President shall nominate a person to fill the vacancy, and the National Assembly shall vote on the nomination within 60 days after receiving it." Honorable members, as you are aware, for a person to hold the office of Deputy President, the person must meet the requirements specified in Article 148, as read together with Article 137 of the Constitution. In the message, His Excellency the President indicates that as a prerequisite to the nomination, he sought and received confirmation from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, that the candidate is qualified to vie for election as a member of Parliament in accordance with Article 137(1) of the Constitution. Further, His Excellency the President confirms that he has sought and received clearances from the following institutions with respect to the candidate. 1, the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA. B, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC. C, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI. D, the Higher Education Loans Board, HELB. And E, the Commission for University Education. Honorable members, in a testament to the foregoing, His Excellency the President has annexed the following documents in relation to his nominee. A, certified true copy of his certificate of birth. B, certified true copy of his national identity card. C, certified copies of his university degrees and other academic certificates. D, certification of foreign university degrees by the Commission for University Education. E, passport size photograph. F, curriculum vitae and testimonials. G, confirmation of compliance with Article 137 of the Constitution from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. H, confirmation of citizen status by the National Registration Bureau, Office of the Registrar of Persons. I, confirmation of membership status in a political party from the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, ORPP. J, policy party membership confirmation from the United Democratic Alliance, UDA. K, Chapter 6 of the Constitution, statutory clearances on leadership and integrity from 1, tax compliance certificate, Kenya Revenue Authority. 2, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. 3, certificate of good conduct from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI. 4, Compliance Higher Education Loans Board. And 5, credit report and certificate of clearance from the Credit Reference Bureau. In view of the foregoing, honorable members, and having perused the attached documents, I am satisfied that the candidate meets the requirements under Article 148 as read together with Article 137 of the Constitution to fill the vacancy in the office of the Deputy President. Consequently, the nomination is properly before the House for purposes of the decision required under Article 149(1) of the Constitution. Honorable members, Article 149(1) of the Constitution suggests that states that upon receipt of a nomination of a person to fill a vacancy in the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the House is required to vote on the nomination. Considering that the House is scheduled to proceed on recess at the rise of the House this afternoon, I'll convene a meeting of the House Business Committee immediately hereafter to deliberate on the next steps to be taken by the House. Thereafter, I will guide the House on the decision of the House Business Committee, and the House is accordingly guided. I thank you. Yeah, because now you are properly seized. You can put your...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Article 149 of the Constitution provides that within 14 days after a vacancy in the office of the Deputy President arises, the President shall nominate a person to fill the vacancy, and the National Assembly shall vote on the nomination within 60 days after receiving it. Honorable Speaker, recently in passing the special motion for impeachment of the Deputy President...
Order, Wanjala, he is on a point of order. So,
Honorable Speaker,
Yeah,
Recent-
order. Wanjala, what is it? Order, Honorable Shinali. Order, Honorable Shinali, will you be upstanding? You are not properly dressed. You go and dress in a proper manner and come back. Who else? Honorable Zahir. You are, no. Him is a Muslim, is wearing a Friday prayer meeting. There's no problem. Shinali, go and dress up. Go on, Bukose.
Honorable Speaker, recently in passing the special motion for impeachment of the Deputy President, you guided us that we required at least two-thirds, that is 233 members, of us being two-thirds of the House to pass the motion. Honorable Speaker, is the same voting threshold applicable in this case? I seek your guidance of the matter. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Nyikal. Yes, Milemba. Honorable Shinali, retreat quietly and dress up and come back.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the business before this House is one which requires us to vote on the nomination of a person to fill a vacancy in the office of the Deputy President in terms of Article 149 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, as is a practice before the House takes a vote on a matter, members are accorded an opportunity to debate and give their views on the business before the House. Honorable Speaker, to this end, I seek your guidance on whether we shall be given an opportunity to debate on the nomination and give our views. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to seek your guidance on whether this House will be required, Honorable Speaker, to undertake the vetting and approval process as required by the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act. Number two, Honorable Speaker, of my concern is that, Honorable Speaker, Article 124, particularly subsection 4 of the Constitution, provides that when a House of Parliament considers any appointment for which its approval is required under the Constitution or an Act of Parliament, the appointment shall be considered by a committee of the relevant House, and the committee's recommendation shall be tabled in the House for approval. Honorable Speaker, in your communication, you have not given us indication on how you are going to handle that process. Maybe, Honorable Speaker, you can guide me on how you intend to handle it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Jen Kakiri. Yes, member for Laikipia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you've just conveyed a message from His Excellency the President on the nomination of Professor Kithure Kindiki to fill the vacancy of the office of the Deputy President, which occurred yesterday, to fill the vacancy of the office of the Deputy President, which occurred yesterday following the conclusion of the impeachment proceedings at the Senate. Honorable Speaker, we are now here to vote on the nomination as required by the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, could you please guide the House on whether we are acting within the constitutional deadline, and is it in order for the nomination to happen today after receiving the notification from the President today? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
With those clarifications sought by members after the House Business Committee meeting, honorable members, I will now require the Deputy Speaker to come to the chair and carry on with the proceedings. Members of the House Business Committee, move to room 9 for a meeting, whereafter we will resume the proceedings of the House. And I'll guide the issues raised by Honorable Pukose, Jen Kakiri, Wangwe, and Omboko Milemba at the next resumption. Yes, what's your point of order, Honorable?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my very good friend, the Honorable Bukose, in seeking your direction, Mr. Speaker, with regard to Article 149 of the Constitution on the appointment of and approval by a vote of the Deputy President. Mr. Speaker.
The words of the Constitution are very clear.
Yes.
It is appointment and vote.
And vote. I agree.
Approval is not used.
Yes, not used, Mr. Speaker.
On this article.
Mr. Speaker, you know, this Constitution we are borrowed heavily from the U.S. Constitution. The 25th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which was passed in 1967, has a similar provision that provides that a vice president shall be appointed, shall be nominated by the president and approved by a vote by the House. It uses the words confirmation, Mr. Speaker. Previously in the United States, Mr. Speaker, before the 25th Amendment, there was no similar provision. In fact, there was in the past, before 1967, there was a cumulative of 37 years when there was no vice president, when one either passed away or one was appointed as became the president. And so, Mr. Speaker, we would like you to express yourself with regard to this issue. What is the threshold? On the removal of the Deputy President is 2/3. So is the approval or by vote of the Deputy President 2/3? Because it's not provided in the Constitution.
Honorable Chepkonga.
Yes.
If you are paying attention, you are saying exactly what Bukose said.
Oh, I'd walked out.
And you are sitting next to him.
No, I walked out, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I walked out. So
word for word, what you are asking me to say.
Yeah, he has stolen from me, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Yes, Wamboka. DK, if you want to catch the Speaker's eye, there's no provision for you to stand up. You sit and I'll give you. Yes, Wamboka, member for Bumula.
Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, Article 118 of the Constitution requires this House to facilitate public participation in its legislative and other business of the House. Honorable Speaker, the issue of public participation is a sensitive matter which has often attracted debate and court challenges. Indeed, our recent experience in considering the special motion for removal of the Deputy President made us even appreciate better the need for public participation. Honorable Speaker, with this in mind, please guide this House on whether we shall be expected to conduct public participation in voting for the nomination to fill the vacancy in the office of the Deputy President.
Thank you. DK.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm rising on a point of order, still on the same issue that I need your guidance. Looking at His Excellency the nominee, we just vetted not more than 2 months ago, and that implies not more than 6 months ago. And the questionnaire that is expected is still the questionnaire that we used. Why don't we use the same motion and we use the same output and we just put the motion and we put the question and we finish today? Thank you.
Daud. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's great that Honorable Kithure Kindiki has been nominated by the President. My question is, Mr. Speaker, will IEBC have to be involved as the same was done during the election, or it is not a factor in this case? While I congratulate Kithure Kindiki for nomination.
Donya, what is it?
Mr. Speaker.
On the same issue?
Yeah, on the same issue.
Go ahead.
He's saying that we use the same questionnaire that he used as the interior for the position of the Deputy President. He's incorrect because you cannot use the same questions when it is a different docket. Is out of order.
Thank you for helping the Speaker. Yes, Member for Langata. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Having seen how things move very fast in this House, let me take this opportunity to congratulate the newly appointed Deputy President.
Order, Jalango. He has not been appointed, he has been nominated.
I've just said on how things move very fast here, sir. Let me congratulate him. Let me be the first person to congratulate the newly elected Deputy President. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You can come now. Eh? No, come and take the seat. Yes. Honorable members, we'll end this here. I'll make some reasoned direction on those issues raised. I will now ask all members of the House Business Committee, Kainan and your team, to move to room 9 for a meeting. And the Deputy Speaker will go on with the statements. I had not given direction on the member for Moyale's statement. It's committed to the committee responsible and to bring a response in 2 weeks.
Honorable members, we shall now go to statements, and we shall continue with a statement by the member for North Horr, Honorable Wario.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders 44(2)(c).
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Honorable Wario, you may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders 44(2)(c), I rise to request for a statement for the chairpersons of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock and Departmental Committee on Regional Development regarding the perpetual drought crisis and resultant loss of lives and livelihoods in arid and semi-arid lands, and especially in Northern constituency. Honorable Speaker, Northern Kenya is largely arid and semi-arid lands, and as a result, it is highly susceptible to the vagaries of climate change and climate-induced disasters. During the recent drought, there were several lives lost due to unmitigated droughts and persistent famine in the region. Furthermore, the ASAL regions lost an estimated 2.6 million livestock, which the NDMA estimated to be worth 226 billion. It is worth noting that Northern constituency, spanning 39,000 square kilometers, 1.5 times size of Rwanda, is the largest constituency in Kenya and optimizes the challenges faced by the northern region. This area, highly susceptible to climate change and climate-induced disasters, has recently witnessed devastating losses. Communities lost over 90% of their livestock. Malnutrition rates rose to 3 times the global average. Thousands of the children drop out of school. Even with the recent normal rains, the population in North Or still faces life-threatening food crisis, with minimal and intermittent government support through relief foods. Despite the availability of vast land as the main factor of production and the ability to predict these weather conditions and with the use of ICT-based technology, the government interventions have largely been reactive and short-term, perpetuating cycle of dependency. Honorable Speaker, the Northern Kenya Development Plan is a sustainable plan to cushion communities in the region from the adverse effects of the climate change and climate-induced disasters. Unfortunately, this plan is yet to be implemented to transition pastoralists and victims of climate disasters from dependency of relief food to long-term and sustainable livelihoods and food security interventions. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock and Regional Development on the following. 1. Plans on how the government intends to leverage on demonstrated capacity for transformative projects in technology, water, and large-scale infrastructure projects to prioritize food security and enhance dignity of the population in North Or and the assets of Northern Kenya. B, an explanation on why the government allocates substantial resources for relief food annually, but minimal or no resources for specific, smart, measurable, and realistic food security programs in the ASAL of Kenya. A comprehensive report on all food security and drought resilience projects with its corresponding budgets by both government and donor-funded projects that have been implemented or are ongoing in Northern constituency and the ASALs of Northern Kenya. Reasons why ASAL regions of Kenya remain vulnerable to climate change effects despite numerous national plans, including a report on the implementation status of the Northern Kenya Development Plan. Finally, a detailed analysis of the audited impacts of initiatives aimed at cushioning Kenyans from the effects of the climate change, with a specific attention to Northern region, including timelines for implementation of sustainable solutions. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. That falls under the which committee? Environment?
Committee of Agriculture and Livestock and Regional Development.
Honorable Mutunga, are you here? Do you have any response? Or do you want to say something about it?
Honourable Speaker, we can promise to get a response in the next 2 weeks, soon after the recess.
Thank you. Honorable members, before we move to the next statements, yes, I will come to the questions. What I want to do is, before we continue with the statement, the answers to the statements, I will give you the opportunity. We'll go back to we are going to go to the statement. So you'll have an opportunity, Honorable Pukose. But before we proceed with the statements, allow me to reorder the order paper. And we will go to order number 8 to put the question, and also order number 9, and then we can go back to statements. Okay. So, honorable members. Oh, yeah, read out.
Order number 8, the Community Health Workers Bill, National Assembly Bills number 33 of 2022, second reading. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Community Health Workers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022 be read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of parliament to make provision for the training, registration, and licensing of community health workers, to regulate their practice, to provide for the establishment, powers and functions of the Community Health Workers Council of Kenya, and for connected purposes. Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the mediated version of the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2022. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Article 113(2) of the Constitution and Standing Order number 153, this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 16th October 2024, and approves the mediated version of the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2022. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So, honorable members, we go back to statements, and I think we have the statement. Yours not the first one, Honorable. Yes, I have the list here. I think we are starting with the one for Honorable Bernard Kitur, MP for Nandi Hills. I think it was supposed to be answered by the Administration and Internal Security Committee. Is Honorable Kitur?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44(2)(c), I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration, Internal Affairs, regarding the kidnapping and torture of Mr. Pascalis Kosgei. Honorable Speaker, on the 15th July 2024, Mr. Pascalis Kosgei of ID number 26289458, the chairman of the Nandi Hills Border Association, was kidnapped in Kerengwet village, Nandi Hills constituency. He was tortured for 6 hours before being dumped unconscious and naked in a tea plantation miles away from his home. This incident occurred on the same day he led a major demonstration alongside other area leaders against multinational tea estates, demanding increased employment for locals and a reduction in the use of tea plucking machines. Prior to his abduction, Mr. Kosgei reported that he received numerous calls regarding his whereabouts, including from a senior DCI officer recently transferred from Nandi Hills. His kidnapping sparked significant outrage within the constituency and was reported at Nandi Hills Police Station under the occurrence book number 39/15/7/2024. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that Kenya is a signatory to the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. However, the country has yet to ratify this crucial agreement, which would be instrumental in addressing violation of human rights and ensuring accountability for victims and their families. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security, and in the statement, the Chairperson should address the following. 1. Status of the investigation on the kidnapping and torture of Mr. Pascalis Kimurgor Kosgei. 2. Any steps the government is taking to stop abductions. enforce disappearances and killings in the country. And 3, when the ministry will forward to Parliament the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance for ratification. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson for the Administration and Internal Security, Honorable Russo, you are speaking on behalf of the chair. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what honorable colleague from Nandi Hills has raised is fundamental. It is about human rights and protection of lives and sanctity of life, which is enshrined in our Constitution. Madam Speaker, we'll need 2 weeks after the recess to respond. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I think it's one thing I had raised with some of the committees. Even though we are going to recess, if you dispatch the letter now or during the recess, then you can have a response by the time we come back from recess. Because the executive is not on recess. So I think you adjust it that way. Thank you. Next we have a statement, a request for a statement by the Honorable Christopher Aseka, member for Kiswero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security regarding scrapping the application fees for issuance of identity cards. Honorable Speaker, every Kenyan is entitled to issuance of a national identification card upon attainment of a maturity age of 18 years. Possession of this ID card is especially critical in facilitating Kenyans' youth to access basic services such as university and college funding, employment opportunity, recruitment to disciplined forces, and enrollment for financial services such as M-Pesa and banking. Sadly, Honorable Speaker, the government requirement for payment of a mandatory application fee of 300 Kenya shillings is hindering many teenage first-time applicants from acquiring national identity cards. Clearly, at the age of 18 years, teenagers applying for these identification cards do not have income of their own to pay fees and to meet other related costs, such as convenience fees charged by Huduma centers. Additionally, teenagers who do not have parents or guardians to pay for the application fees, for them to fail to apply for identification cards due to the cost implications. As a result, most young people are not only delayed from timely access to opportunities requiring ID cards, but also the enjoyment of the inherent identity as citizens of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security on the following. Clarification on the justification for levying and application fee of 300 Kenya shillings for issuance of national identity cards for first-time teenagers applicants who do not have their own income. And 2, the action being taken to immediately scrap the application fee for the first-time teenage applicants in order to remove the prohibitive financial obligation and hinders them from obtaining the critical document. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Russo. Yes, proceed. You want to respond to him? Give them a timeline.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think that issue is a hot issue in the country because if youngsters don't have anything, they live with their parents, and they are told to get an ID card, they must pay for it. I think it's something that we have not yet reached that stage, even as a country. Yes, in developed countries, youngsters start working from as early as 15 years, and they have some income. So for that reason, I think as a committee, we will need a serious debate with the department, and we'll give a comprehensive response by the time we are through with the recess. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Russo, the fees That was in it was gazetted regulations, or how was it implemented?
Actually, Madam Speaker, the fees were gazetted. It was just as a means of raising revenue by the department. But there was not concerted discussion with even the Committee of Parliament. So for that reason, whereas it is out there in the public domain, I think we need to review that position because it raises fundamental issue. There are those children of members of Parliament. They can afford it. What about the children of peasants who don't have anything, even affording a meal a day? So for that reason, I think we will work on it, and after the recess, we'll be able to respond to it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Because I'm assuming that it should have been given, it should have come to the Committee for Delegated Legislation, because then that's at the point that they could approve or nullify it. So maybe liaise with that committee. And then we, thank you. Okay, the next request for a statement is by Honorable Dr. Robert Pukose.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this statement is a statement from the committee, and I'm presenting it in my capacity as the chair. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding government financial assistance to students enrolled at the Kenya Medical Training College. Honorable Speaker, this matter is of great significance to many aspiring medical professionals across our nation, as KMTC students are integral to our healthcare system. Their training and expertise directly contribute to the quality of care provided to our citizens. Ensuring that these students receive adequate financial assistance is essential not only for their success but also for the future of healthcare in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. 1, to clarify whether KMTC students currently placed in KMTC campuses by the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service, KUPS, are entitled to the financial assistance provided by the Higher Education Loans Board, HELP, that is available to all students pursuing higher education in Kenya. 2, indicate if KMTC students are eligible for student loans offered under the purview of the Ministry of Education, and if so, when will they receive financial assistance, including student loans under the new funding model being introduced by the Ministry of Education.
3, state whether the Ministry of Education continues to allow the Ministry of Health through KMTC to collaborate with the Higher Education Loans Board in dispersing student loans to students at medical training college as has been practiced previously. 4, explain the actions taken by the Ministry of Education to ensure that KMTC students have access to financial assistance, thereby promoting equity and inclusivity in higher education financing comparable to that of other students across the country. And if you could allow my Vice Chair, Honorable Speaker, to also make a comment on it.
Okay, proceed, Honorable Patrick.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I like to support my chairman on seeking that statement because, Speaker, we were in this house when you approved that students who go to KMTC will from now on be admitted through COPS, like other students who go to universities. But, Speaker, it's a bit logic why they go through COPS and then they don't benefit from government financing like university students through HELP. So, Speaker, what we are urging as a committee is that let students who go to KMTC, since they go through COPS like other university students, also benefit from my education launch board in financing the education, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we try to achieve universal health coverage in this country, the most important candidates that will help us to achieve UHC in this country are the nurses, are the clinic officers, are the public health officers, and the KMTC trains the back of this lot, Madam Speaker. So for us, it's just a request that let those who go to KMTC also be beneficiaries of Higher Education Loans Board, Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chairperson for the Education Committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to commend Honorable Dr. Bukose, the chair, and the members who have raised this particular issue. It's a very, very pertinent issue. And I think as the rule requires, mid-level colleges and universities, students in the Republic are supposed to get loans, scholarships through the Higher Education Loans Board and also University Funding Board. So, Honorable Speaker, I'll really fast-track this particular issue and will respond immediately we are back from recess, because it's a very, very important item that we really need to dispense with faster. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Let's go to the next request for a statement by the Honorable Dr. John Mutunga, member for Tigania West.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding the utilization of pension funds for national building. Honourable Speaker, the Retirement Benefit Act 1997 provides for among other things, requirements for the effective management and investment of the pension fund in Kenya. The statute also establishes the Retirement Benefits Authority, which oversees the prudent management of pension schemes and ensures responsible investment of pension funds. The funds represent a significant pool of long-term capital that, when strategically invested, can greatly contribute to national development by allocating a portion of the fund to well-planned infrastructure projects, renewable energy initiatives, and affordable housing programs. Pension funds can address key development challenges while ensuring stable, long-term returns for retirees. This would also improve financial inclusivity, enhance the living standards of citizens, and reduce reliance on foreign debts. Honourable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the following. Number one, provide a report on the number of registered pension funds in the country and the total amount under management across the funds.
Number two, a list of the specific sectors where the pension fund have been invested and the terms of these investments. And finally, report on the proposals that money held in pension funds be invested in national development and the likely modalities for such arrangements. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
The Chairperson for the Committee on Finance and National Planning, Honourable Kuria.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the Honourable, my colleague, the Chair for Agriculture, Mutunga, for requesting for this statement. And I think the committee will endeavour to go far beyond the short statement sought. Honourable Speaker, the savings, pension savings as a percent of GDP in Kenya is between 10 and 15%. And this is way lower than the global average of around 50 to 100%. And maybe one of the reasons why even we lag behind in terms of our pension savings as a percent of GDP compared to countries of equal GDP level, could be that we are not maybe investing these pension schemes as we should. And therefore, the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning will endeavor to meet the relevant authorities, including the Retirement Benefit Authority and all the other pension schemes, Honourable Speaker, and see how they're investing those monies, ensuring that even they're not just, the savings are not just used for development of this country, but also, and most importantly, the savings are safeguarded, so that when our pensioners get to retire, they are assured that they're going to get their pensions on time, and that they're going to grow the funds and make sure that they're used for the economic development in this country. So, Honorable Speaker, if you give us 2 weeks, we should be able to respond to the statement sought by the Honorable Mutunga. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Next request for a statement is by the Honorable Paul Katana, member for Kaloleni.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife on elephant invasion in Kayafungo in Kaloleni. Honorable Speaker, Kayafungo is a sacred Giriama shrine set within a natural forest filled with towering ancient trees. Unfortunately, the invasion of elephants has severely impacted the area, leading to the destruction of nearly all its trees and places of worship. While these majestic creatures are an essential part of our national heritage, they have also become a major source of property damage and fear of residents. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife. In the statement, the chairperson should address the following. 1. Immediate measures the ministry is instituting through the Kenya Wildlife Service to keep elephants away from Kayafungo and facilitate their return to their natural habitat. 2. Plans by the ministry to compensate residents whose properties have been damaged by the elephants. 3. Measures in place to restore the damaged Giriama shrine and its surrounding environment to its original state, as well as to protect it from future elephant invasion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The chairperson for the Departmental Committee for Tourism and Wildlife. Oh, you're there? Okay, Honorable Muge.
Honorable Chair, I'm not the chairperson of the said department or a member, but Honorable Speaker, I wanted to add my voice to the said matter. Honorable Speaker, I come from a county that has a lot of animals, especially monkeys. And Honorable Speaker, this matter has to be accorded the attention it deserves. There's a whole belt in my county, Honorable Speaker, running through the valley, the Nandi, the Aldai, and the Tindred constituency. Honorable Speaker, those people hardly harvest anything because anything that they plant is eaten by the monkeys, Honorable Speaker. And these people, Honorable Speaker, are not getting the attention from the concerned authorities so that their crops and their plantations can be protected, or Honorable Speaker, they can be advised on what else to do that will not attract the animals to their farms and eat their foods and their crops, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, in support of the member who was asked for this statement, I add my voice that this particular department, Honorable Speaker, should be able to do a thorough audit and be able to map all the animals, Honorable Speaker, that are actually becoming a source of conflict between the humans and the animals, so that we can look for a way, Honorable Speaker, to safeguard those people, to make sure that their lives is ongoing and they are comfortable in their living, and the animals also, Honorable Speaker, are comfortable so that they can be able to have a better coexistence, Honorable Speaker. I thank you.
Thank you. Is there a member of that committee in the House? Okay, then I think Honorable Wako, I think we'll task you to ensure that it goes to the relevant committee. Next we have.
Thank you.
Next we have another request for a statement. Honorable Wanjiku Muya, member for Kipipiri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the unmarked bumps along flyover Jabini, Kipipiri, or Karau, Nyahururu Road. Honorable Speaker, there are several concerns regarding the safety and well-being of both road users and the surrounding communities due to the erection of unmarked speed bumps along the flyover Jabini Kipipiri or Karau Road.
to motorists. The unmarked bumps on the Kenha Class A road pose a significant risk to motorists. The lack of clear signage, markings, and proper visibility has already resulted in several near-miss incidents and in some cases, accidents. The sudden appearance of this speed bump forces drivers to brake abruptly, increasing the likelihood to rear-end collision, particularly at night or in adverse weather conditions. Additionally, residents are worried about the heightened risk to pedestrians, especially school children, as vehicles may swerve unpredictably to avoid the unmarked bumps. Moreover, the damage to vehicles caused by sudden impact with these bumps has placed unnecessary financial burden on road users. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. 1. Plans to ensure that all bumps erected along the flyover, Jabini, Kipipiri, or Kalau Nyahururu Road are clearly marked and proper signage provided. Action being taken for the, that is 2, action being taken for the provision of proper signage and reflective markers along the flyover Jabini, Kipipiri, or Kalau Nyahururu Road. And 3, a report on the exact timeline for marking the bumps and placing signage along the said road. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. And just in one sentence, I want to confirm, like Kipipiri, we have already lost so many souls in a very black spot called Jiret near Kariamu. Recently, we lost a principal from Kiabogo Secondary School, and we have lost many, and particularly near Kinagop, and I know the member will be speaking. The contractor who maintained this road, he maintained and go and leave the road as dangerous as such. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Member for Kinangop.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I, in a special, want to thank my colleague, who is a member of Parliament for Kipipiri, my neighbor. The road that has been mentioned passes through my constituency, fly over to Jambini, then to Kipipiri, all the way to Nyahururu. And that road, Madam Speaker, has become a death trap, simply because the bumps that are in that road are not marked. And Madam Speaker, we have raised this issue numerous times with the Kenya National Highways Authority, and nothing has been done so far. In my very constituency, there's a place called Gadara Ward, a place called Kanamba. And we have lost lives of children in school, going to school, simply because there are no bumps. And the bumps that are on that road are not marked. And therefore, I want to support this statement and ask that Kenha quickly or speedily just erect bumps where they're supposed to be and be simply marked, so that then we stop this loss of life. And Madam Speaker, there's some level of complacency when it comes to erecting bumps. You know, you'll hear these people say, we cannot erect bumps because it's a highway. But then, what is more important, speed or the lives of people? And therefore, Madam Speaker, in a special way, I would want you to emphatically compel Kenya National Highways Authority to erect bumps where they're supposed to be and mark them appropriately. I rest my case, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The chairperson for the Transport and Infrastructure Committee. Any member of the committee? Okay, so I think Honorable Wako, again, we leave this one to you.
Most obliged, thank you.
The last statement, we have a statement from the Honorable Member for Chuka, Honorable Patrick Tuga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand in this House today to pass my sincere condolences and mourn a colleague, a friend, a member of my constituency, Honorable Beatrice Nkadhanyaga. Honorable Beatrice Nkadhanyaga served in this House, Madam Speaker, in the 11th and 12th Parliament. She's a lady who served with dedication, a very hard-working woman. In the Tharaka-Nithi, we used to say she was the glue that held the Tharaka-Nithi together. Madam Speaker, it's a very sad moment because we just lost a leader, a very loving woman, a very dedicated leader, Madam Speaker. And as a county and as a country, we are at loss today to mourn Beatrice Nkadhanyaga, the former member of parliament, the immediate former member of parliament for the Tharaka-Nithi County, the Women Rep. Madam Speaker, Nkadha has been ailing for the last few months. And yesterday, she rested. And I stand in this House, Madam Speaker, to mourn her today and to give my sincere condolences to her family, her children, and the great people of the Tharaka-Nithi, where she comes from, and members of this parliament who worked very closely with her, because Madam Beatrice was afraid to war in this House. Madam Speaker, I was just thinking when I was seated here, I was saying it's, as we bid farewell today, as we mourn Nkadha today in the Tharaka-Nithi, it's also a celebration as we for appointment of Kidiki. So it's mixed feelings. It's mixed feelings in the county, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, thank you. I even don't know what to continue. I would just request Honorable Murugara, who I know was a very close friend, to give her his condolences. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Patrick, you're out of order. You cannot give the opportunity to the member for Tharaka. I think I'll give Honorable Dorothy Kiara, then I'll come to you. Yes, but you're out of order. You're taking the Speaker's job.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, indeed, it is a sad day for all of us today. And I want to join my brother, Honorable Patrick, and the entire Tharaka community and the women of this country in mourning Honorable Beatrice Nkadha. Honorable Beatrice Nkadha was a woman of strength. She worked diligently as the first woman representative of Tharaka-Nithi, where she was referred to as Mama County. She served the women, the vulnerable, and the rest disadvantaged in the community with a lot of dedication and zeal. Honorable Speaker, I want to say it's a sad moment for the country, and more so for all of us, because we know the great role that Honorable Beatrice Nkadha played during the 2022 general elections. Honorable Beatrice Nkadha, Madam Speaker, if you can remember from her clips, she was very committed to ensuring that this government comes to power, and more so fighting for His Excellency the President. Even when the ground in our own community was so hostile that she was not able to mention anything else, she went on even when there was a lot of noise, shouting, Ruto, Ruto, Ruto. We still remember her for that. Honorable Madam Speaker, I want to join the rest of the members of this House who served diligently with this beautiful soul, a lady who was very generous, a lady who put on a smile all the time, even when things were so difficult. And I want to say, may the gracious Lord rest our soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Member for Tharaka-Nithi, Honorable George Murugara. We'll come to you. I'm just following the order of the names that came here. I can see Honorable Mishimboko is next. Yes. You're out of order, Honorable. Proceed, Honorable Member for Tharaka.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to join my colleague, neighbor and county of Tharaka Nithi, the Honorable Patrick Munenen Tuiga, who represents Chukaigamba Ngombe and is the local member of parliament for the late Honorable Beatrice Nkatha Nyaga. May I join him on behalf of the people of Tharaka constituency, Tharaka Nithi County, and all the well-wishers of the country as we relay our unreserved condolences to the family of the late Beatrice Nkatha. Madam Speaker, Honorable Beatrice Nkatha was a lady to behold. She served the county of Tharaka Nithi for 10 years without a blemish. We remember the lady Beatrice Nkatha with nostalgia, and especially as she was the unifying factor of that county, even when things appeared to go south. She spoke for all of us. She loved the county. She traversed that county with like a colossus, and they did not discriminate one constituency against another or one people against another people. She loved the children, the students, the elderly, the vulnerable, and she spoke for them without any reservation. Today, a dark cloud hangs over the county of Tharaka Nithi as we mourn this great lady. It also hangs over the country because Beatrice, especially towards the last general election, stood for the entire country. She was one of the most committed servants of the UDA party. She was one of the most loyal persons to His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And Dr. Ruto constantly remembered Beatrice and would always ask where she was, what she was doing, and eventually nominated her for the seat of CAS, Treasury, in this republic. We never took that as light as it would appear, in spite of the fact that problems came up with that position of CS. Let me thank His Excellency for that, and also thank him today because he's wiping away our tears by nominating Professor Kithure Kindiki to be the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Professor Kindiki does not belong to Tharaka Nithi, to Meru, or any other. He is a nationalist. He stands in for the entire country, and this is why this House has received that nomination with the zeal, happiness, and accolades as required. Madam Speaker, as I pen off, I have just also lost my mom, the late Lena Gashire Murugara, to whom I am the third born. She was elderly at 88. She has rested. I'm happy that all these members of parliament have actually wished me well and given their condolences to me. And for that, I do sincerely appreciate and thank all of you. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Member for Likoni, Honorable Mishimboko.
Asante sana Bi Speaker, na mimi nachukua nafasi hii kwa niaba yangu, niaba ya eneo bunge langu la Likoni na niaba la watu wa Mombasa, niweze kutoa risala zangu za rambirambi kwa mwenda zake dada yetu Beatrice Nkatha. Na niseme Mheshimiwa Beatrice, tulikuwa naye katika bunge hili la kitaifa, na alikuwa kiongozi shujaa sana, kiongozi ambaye alikuwa anapenda watu sana, kiongozi ambaye kila wakati ukimwona alikuwa na furaha na bashasha, kiongozi aliyekuwa na msimamo thabiti wa kutetea chama chake na kutetea kiongozi ambaye alikuwa ni wa chama chake. na tulikuwa tunajua dada yetu ataweza kuingia katika ule uongozi ule tulikuwa tunaita Kiingereza kwa ufupi CAS, lakini kwa yale mambo yaliyotukia hakuweza kufika hapo. Tunasikitika sana, hata nimetamautishwa kusikia kwamba alikuwa amegonjeka kwa muda mfupi, takriban kama miezi miwili hivi. Tungekuwa tumejua, haswa sisi kama kina mama, tungeweza kumtembelea na kuweza kumwombea dua ili Mungu ampatie afueni. Lakini tunajua sisi tulimpenda, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu amempenda zaidi. Mheshimiwa Beatrice, wakati mmoja tulikuwa naye katika kamati moja na tulikuwa karibu sana na yeye, na nilipenda sana mavazi yake. Wakati akivaa alikuwa mama maridadi sana. Hata utaona kile kibeti anachobeba, viatu anavyovaa, nguo anayovaa, yote itakuwa inawiana. Yani alikuwa mama ambaye ni mtanashati sana sana, na alikuwa mama ambaye hana fujo na mtu wala hana dhiki na mtu. Pia tulikuwa kina mama wa kwanza tukiwa na yeye kuwa katika kiti cha kuwakilisha katika kaunti zetu. Mimi nikiwa kule Mombasa na yeye akiwa anawakilisha kule sehemu ya kwao. Tulikuwa wa kwanza baada ya kupata katiba mpya ya taifa letu ya Kenya. Tunasikitika na tunaomboleza pamoja na ndugu zetu wa sehemu zile za Meru, sehemu zile za Tharaka, kumpoteza shujaa wetu, dada yetu Beatrice Nkantha. Tunaomba Mwenyezi Mungu ailaze roho yake mahali pema peponi, na tunaomba serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kupitia Daktari William Samoei Ruto, kwa sababu huyu alikuwa kiongozi wako shujaa, kiongozi wako mwenye msimamo, uweze kuangalia familia yake. Yeye ni mwenda zake sasa, lakini najua ana watoto, pengine hata ana wajukuu. Tusiwatupe viongozi wetu wakati wamepatwa na misiba. Pia tuwakumbuke kwa wale ambao wamewaacha na wao wakiwa wametangulia kule mbele. Tunamuombea Mola amweke pema penye waja wema. Poleni sana watu wa Tharaka, poleni sana watu wa Meru, poleni sana bunge la kitaifa na Kenya kwa jumla. Asante sana, Bi Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Nairobi County, Honorable Esther Pasari.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak. I want to send condolences to the family of Beatrice Nkantha Nyaga, for myself and my family and the county of Nairobi. It is indeed a sad moment when you hear that somebody you knew has passed on. And with the nature of life, we served in the 12th Parliament together. We haven't seen her for a while, but I remember we met once during campaigns, and even if she was in UDA and I was in ODM, we still exchanged pleasantries like sisters. I met her again recently when she was appointed to become a CAS of Treasury, and she was very happy. And she was also very happy that I had made my second term. She was such a lovely human being. She was a beautiful soul. She had no inhibitions, and at the same time, she had no hard feelings for anyone. In politics, sometimes when you're in opposing parties, people always, you see that there's tension in the friendship. With her, the friendship was pure, sincere, and as a woman, she believed in the tribe of women, so we stood together. I would like to quote Shakespeare. We are all on the world stage, all as men and women, we're merrily players that are here, that exist, and we have entrances and we exist. So she has exited the stage, but she will not be forgotten. She has left her landmark. We say sorry to the people of Tharaka Nithi. We also say sorry to the people of Kenya, because as a legislator, you don't just serve your constituency or your county, you make decisions that impact and affect and serve all Kenyans. So as she has exited her stage, we also have seen that we have a nomination of the CS Kithure Kindiki as the incoming deputy president. And we say that the people of Tharaka Nithi have lost with one hand and received with another. But we also recognize that the CS Kindiki is a national figure. He has served in many offices, and he has also served as Interior, so he knows that Kenya is one, and we wish him well in his nomination, and we wish this country the best. Condolences to the family. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, because I think we need to close this. Yes, the honorable member for, yes, you may proceed. Yeah, I'll give you the member for Tharaka. I'll give you after. You may proceed first, Double N.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to send my condolences to the late Mheshimiwa Beatrice Ngatha from Tharaka Nithi County. I know her personally. We have met in many occasions. Even during the last 2022 campaigns, we were with her in many, many meetings. And it saddens us this morning to hear about the demise of Beatrice Ngatha. We are here to give our sincere condolences to the family, the children, and the whole community of Tharaka Nithi County for losing such a soul who was a kind person. She was a generous person. And above all, she was very smart, even at heart. I represent Embu County as women rep, and I know she was one time the women rep of Tharaka Nithi. And as women rep in this house, this August House, we are saddened to lose one of us. And we can only pray that indeed the Kenya Kwanza government, the UDA, fraternity, and the entire house, that we shall stand with her and the entire family as we remember her and the entire family. May our soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Honorable Nduyo, member for Tharaka Nithi, you'll be the last one.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I've been outside trying to draft something better to present this afternoon, but luckily I got that my colleague has presented this statement to us. Madam Speaker, today is a Sunday and happy day for Tharaka Nithi. Mixed feelings. Madam Ngatha is my predecessor. A lady that I valued, a lady that I honored. When I decided to vie for the seat of woman rep, I was so confused on how I will go about it, because she was like a mentor to me. That's why I even tell my people that I've not come to compete with her. I'm coming to continue from where she stopped. Alende who had been honored, a professional printer that I worked with the provincial administration for close to 26 years. Alende who didn't know the poor and the rich. Alende who left indelible marks, so many indelible marks in Tharaka Nithi County. Madam Speaker, we are sad. Madam Speaker, Ngatha was a very hardworking lady. One of the founding mothers and one of the founding officers and one of the founding politicians of the UDA party. A great friend of Professor Kithure Kindiki. I expected her to be here today with us, to be the leading mother to celebrate this joy that is in Tharaka Nithi today. But unfortunately, Madam Ngatha is not there. We are celebrating this great day, yet we are mourning. I've just talked to the son. It's so sad. But I pray that God may give us peace, that God may comfort the people of Tharaka Nithi County, that God may comfort her family. We loved her. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
So, honorable members, let us rise and for a moment of silence in honor of our departed colleague, Honorable Beatrice Ngatha. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Next order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, this is This is the call of the whole House to consider the Senate amendments to the Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2023. Members, this is a very short bill, 3 clauses. Just a request for your